Ladies, gentlemen, non-binary and gender-fluid individuals, cyborgs, androids, interdimensional eldritch horrors, and cursed ventriloquist dummies possessed by the souls of the recently deceased. Welcome to the Crushing Deep. I'm sorry to say there hasn't been a lot of progress on which to report. You may remember from my last video that I had some concerns regarding my PC. After I uploaded that, I worked tirelessly to resolve the issue using all my experience in computer technology, pouring through folders and subroutines, and I googled. Google had a number of useful tips, and eventually, after reinstalling my graphics drivers, the problem of Windows Explorer constantly crashing was fixed, and I flew off to mainland Europe for the weekend for a family wedding. Vows were exchanged, drinks were imbibed, songs were sung, accordions were purchased, currywurst was sampled, hangovers were suffered, online accordion purchases were cancelled, etc. And then I flew home, looking forward to blasting through a lot of progress this week to update you on today. Imagine, if you can, my disappointment, frustration and horror when I realised that in addition to needing to reinstall my graphics card driver, my external hard drive was f***ed, but not in the good way. The same external hard drive upon which the entire project is saved. To be clear, the data's still all there on the drive, but loading any file on it takes a very long time, and for something as large as an Unreal game project, it takes up to 45 minutes to load. Furthermore, trying to save anything new to the drive causes the system to freeze for several minutes, and approximately 25% of the time result in an error message saying the file cannot be saved at all. This has rendered any attempt to work on the game directly impractical until the issue is resolved. I once again consulted Google and was advised that there may be several reasons for the problem I was facing, but the most likely cause was physical damage to the drive. There were a few options to try and fix the problem, but each would only work if the problem was software related rather than hardware related, and each could result in complete loss of data, so it was recommended that everything be backed up before attempting any of the suggested fixes. This simply isn't possible for me right now. The data on the drive is 786 gigabytes in size, and my internal hard drive is only 237 gigabytes when empty, not to mention that it's nearly full already with an operating system, Unreal Engine, Cinema 4D and DaVinci Resolve installed. I was expecting to have to buy a new external hard drive soon anyway, as it is nearly full, but I thought I would have a little more time, and ideally I was expecting it to be an additional hard drive rather than a replacement hard drive. If I'm lucky, that may still be the case, but I do remember my daughter clumsily knocking the hard drive off its perch and down to the floor a few weeks ago. The problem is hard drives aren't cheap, and I'm not wealthy. I haven't been resting on my laurels, however. I have managed to make progress on the opening animation and saved that progress to my internal hard drive. I completely changed how I simulated the background bubbles using Cinema 4D particle emitters and metaballs instead of real flow fluid simulations as I had done previously. I will be making a tutorial on this for next week. I have also been expanding on the story. In the game there will be more than one potential love interest for the protagonist, and the player's choices will affect how each relationship plays out. Some of these characters I knew were too fascinating to not be in the game, but I didn't have anything beyond a backstory for them, and no way to progress their character arcs. Since I didn't want these characters to be entirely one-dimensional, I tried to use AI to help flesh them out. I could have used ChatGPT for this purpose, and maybe that would have been the smartest choice, but since these characters were potential love interests, I decided to try some of those virtual girlfriend apps. That was an interesting experience. I explained to each of the AIs what I was looking for and the scenario I would like them to roleplay. The first AI came up with a really interesting storyline in which she played cards with several other crew members aboard the airship, including the murder victim that sparks the whole story. There were a few other interesting ideas the AI produced, but I don't want to spoil the whole story now. The second AI gave me an arc about one of the characters' parents going missing. They were in a plane crash and the wreckage was recovered, but there were no bodies inside. The third AI is where things started going wrong. They responded only in Spanish and played a 60-second ad between each interaction. The fourth wanted me to upload a selfie of myself, tell it where I lived, and, no word of a lie, send it $10,000 of Bitcoin so it could fall in love with me. Yikes. So, I expect I can get a new hard drive before the end of the month, but I will continue keeping you updated. Check back next week for a tutorial on bubble simulation. Goodbye for now.